I come from a small town in rural French Canada in the province of New Brunswick. There were no artists. There were people working the land or people working in service jobs. There were no artists. So the whole concept of being an artist was just something that came from, books or Renaissance people, 19th century people. It didn't exist. So I never even thought of pursuing a degree in art. Before I created this piece, I did not see what I created as art. I did not see myself as an artist either. I would see myself as somebody who doodles once in a while, and I do photography professionally. I did not see art in my work, but something clicked in my mind at some point, and I said, I have been drawing and creating, drawings and paintings all my life, and now I'm working as a photographer. What if I tried to combine the two and see what happens? Just an idea that popped in my brain. And I did a bit of research to see, well, what could I use on a photo and what would I need to print the photo on so that, ink would stick. And I did a bit of research, and then I just executed the idea. And this was the first one I made in this style, where I took a photo and I basically drew on the photo and created a whole new piece out of it. I modified the original work to make it into a piece of art. And I was actually very confused when I did it, because I was like, I had this idea and I created it. Now what is this? And I put it on social media at that point, telling people, hey, I just did this. What do you guys think? And there was a very strong reaction to it. People were saying, this is fantastic, this is great, I like the combination of styles. So the breakthrough was not necessarily that I discovered a new technique or that I discovered a new way of doing art. It's more that it changed my self-image, if you want. That's when I said, oh, I think I just created a piece of art. I think I just created something that people would call fine art. That was the switch in my mind. When I first came to Provincetown, I was already a middle-aged man. I'm not one of those people who came here when I was 20. I first came here, I was 46, I think. It blew my mind. I had never been in a place where art was impregnated in everything in the same way. So I came to Provincetown and I saw a number of artists who were just doing it for themselves. They had opened their own gallery, they were showing their own work and doing it by their own rules. And that's what really blew my mind. Not just that this place was full of art and full of gays and queer art, but also that there were a lot of artists sort of making their own path, making their own rules, taking charge of their artistic career. And as soon as I saw that, right away I said, that's what I want to do. For the first few years I had the gallery here, this is pretty much the work I was showing. I was doing a lot of work where I was combining photography with graphic art, either with ink or paint. But the work I do now has evolved greatly from that. They are based on work done by Marston Hartley in Provincetown in 1916. So he did a number of paintings of boats when he was here in Provincetown, and I came across a couple of them while visiting the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia last winter. And that triggered a whole lot of inspiration in me, sort of thinking, he was a queer artist in his time. And he was in Provincetown in 1916. What was the life here for him at that point? So I call all of these my Hartley boats, but they're very different from what he created, 100 and many years ago. They are my own interpretations, but they're based on what he created then, but they're also sort of a reflection on all of the artists who have been here. All of the queer artists have been here. and how we have evolved and changed and navigated all sorts of waters to get where we are now. So that's where these boats all come from.